And welcome back, everyone. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are. We are back with the very new season, Season 5 of Berserker Team League Valhalla Week 1. I'm, of course, your host, Light VIP, and with me is the one, the only, the casting jersey herself. Welcome, Kuro.
Hello there.
Hello.
It's once again me, and this is once again a Team League.
Yeah, I guess you're becoming our Team League caster, maybe? I
mean, Asher did do WTL.
True.
So yeah. I guess I lost my position there.
Yeah. I mean, I have Asher for WTL. Maybe I'll have you for BTL instead. Or I think the last time it's been a while. It's been like a year since we played in Berserker Team League, and I think last time I was like bringing on Ducklings. Like I remember casting with Neo and StarDuck and stuff like that. I think I casted ones with Oreo as well, just bringing them on, just for fun.
I mean, that is pretty cool, not gonna lie. Still a good idea.
Fair enough. But for those wondering, what the hell is BTL? I thought you guys qualified for WTL, and you're not wrong. We are playing in World Team League, but we're also playing in Berserker Team League. The format is a little bit different. As you can see, it's a best of 5, not a best of 3. So quite different indeed, which means it's Pro League format. So beforehand, all the players are revealed.
Indeed, they are. And we have our matchup for today already. As I assume you can see on the screen, because I don't see the same screen, guys. But we will be starting. We are Duck of the Stars.
Oh, exactly. You can see the matchups here on the screen. We have StarDuck, PattyMac, Dolan, and Erik going up against FightingFrog, Rodzyn, Art, and AqueroN. As of course, we are going up against the Platinum Heroes themselves. We did face off, I believe, in Rakshir, and I believe we were knocked out by Platinum Heroes in Rakshir. So we want our revenge here in a bit of a different team league, in a bit of a different format. But I can see some people in the chat. Vindicta will not be playing tonight.
Yeah, but I mean, look, Vindicta has carried us enough in the World Team League. He has to get some rest.
Yes, exactly. So if you're a fan of the Shaft of Voltron, he will be not be making an appearance tonight. We are saving him for DreamHack. We're saving him for WTL. He does have the weekend off.
Yes, indeed. But we still have quite interesting players coming up here, as we are now loaded into our first game. And we are looking at the first player representing Platinum Heroes, the Blue Protoss. It's the FightingFrog.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Data Under the Sea, we have the Australian Protoss player himself. He is the Duck of the Stars, representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is StarDuck.
Can I just say how much I love the matchup of a FightingFrog versus a StarDuck?
Someone needs to make like an animation or a drawing of that, because I love it as well. A duck versus a frog.
Just imagine just like, you know, like a frog with a little sword, and just like patting like the duck with a sword, and then like the duck has like a cape of I don't know. Make something up.
In my mind, StarDuck, his cape is you know, the sheets for the Benji emote. That's his cape. He turns it around.
Yes. And the frog is like a wooden, like a kid's sword, and like just like smacking each other.
Yes.
Someone make that fan art.
That would be amazing. But yes, this is the very first week of Berserker Team League. It is a round-robin format. Team League. So we have plenty of matches ahead of us. Our first team that we are going up against, of course, is Platinum Heroes. And in this best of 5 format, it's a little bit more brutal. It's a little bit more cutthroat compared to WTL with their best of 2s.
Yeah, you only have one chance. I mean, to be fair, in WTL, it has its own rules, so it also can be pretty brutal with the eliminations and stuff. But here you have one match, one game, and that's it. And like the only other chance you have is in the ace match, if your team gets there.
Yeah, exactly. You only have that ace match to rely on, and so because of that, like again, best of ones, like you don't have a chance of fighting back if you get knocked out. If you're out, you are out straight up. Likewise, server rules are a little bit different as well, and they are a little bit more unfavorable for the oceanic scene, which is a little bit something that has to be overcome, unfortunately. Of course, StarDuck is fully aware of that, so his style will most likely be that of who'll compensate for that. I imagine something a little bit less micro intensive because you know, the the excuses are already coming out. StarDuck is playing with 250 ping, which is less than ideal.
Yeah, it is not ideal, but hey, he can still make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we've beaten players on the European server before. Like it has happened. You know, StarDuck has been able to pull that off, regardless, even playing with that ping. So I do believe in him. I have a lot of faith in him as well, and we'll see how things turn out here. As so far, openers are looking relatively standard. We did have a gate expand from both of our players. One adept does slip on by though, and it does end up getting one probe here at the natural.
Yeah, unfortunately for Star, I mean, it's not huge damage, but still, it's always nice to keep that probe, and that adept is not going anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. The adept is still here in the main base. The FightingFrog gets a full free scout across map. At the same time, StarDuck is going to try and test the defenses here of FightingFrog, but he doesn't find a way into the natural base either.
Oh, this adept is still doing that. I think it got another probe. I think the 2 probes went down.
Yeah, 2 probes have already gone. Maybe even a 3rd probe here as well, depending on the control. Oof, as the adept does get out. And at the same time, the adept actually runs into these couple of stalkers. There was a Stargate follow-up here from StarDuck, and he will be able to shut down at least the adept in the middle of the map. On the other side of things, FightingFrog also going for a Stargate opener. He was able to scout the opener of StarDuck, and he's opted to go straight into Phoenixes.
Yeah, and so a nice response for FightingFrog. This Oracle will not be getting any damage done. It may even get sniped.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit unfortunate here for StarDuck. Looking at the vision, StarDuck was unable to sneak into the main base. He doesn't know what the opener was, so he did have that disadvantage. The Oracle is going to go down immediately, and just like that, the opener for StarDuck hasn't paid for itself.
Yeah, these units are completely defenseless as the Starker gets picked up, and just one of them is not able to defend, so... Yeah, not the greatest start for StarDuck. His adept does sneak into the base, but there are the stalkers there to defend.
Oh yeah, exactly. We get a full surround. Because of the shield battery, that adept wasn't able to get any kills. And just like that, StarDuck, he loses his map control, he loses his gateway units, and he's gonna be on the back foot here. Again, because of the opener, like things didn't go his way. Like FightingFrog has a pretty nice lead here overall.
These Phoenixes now are coming into the base of StarDuck. There are actually not many units in StarDuck's base at all, so actually these Phoenixes just can do what they want.
Yeah, this may just be too much damage. The Phoenixes are snowballing here, just picking up whatever units they want. The shield battery is finally going to finish up, but alas, it is a little bit too late, and now the Phoenixes have free reign of the mineral line. Oh yeah. If StarDuck from here, he can try and, like, again, muster a defense, and he hasn't lost too many workers at least, but if we look at the units tab, he literally only has probes.
I'm just looking at this. I'm like, there's Blink on the way, and there is 1 Stalker. I don't think 1 Stalker defeats 5 Phoenixes.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. Like, Phoenixes, they snowball really quickly, and again, because StarDuck wasn't able to get a scout earlier, like, he wasn't able to prepare himself, we didn't have a recall on the units in the middle of the map either to try and preserve whatever stalkers we could. Finally, the stalker count is getting a little bit higher here, but again, things are looking bleak. The one upside is that FightingFrog doesn't have, like, much else other than stalkers yet, but I say yet because here's the gateway explosion, here's the rest of the tech that's coming out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the Phoenixes are not the end game for FightingFrog. Like, he's still making one, like, you know, adding one to the army, but every now and then. But he's actually transitioning to more ground army, getting his Bleak on the way as well. So this is just to distract StarDuck for the time being before the actual attack comes.
And StarDuck isn't one to give up early on, despite the fact that, again, a lot of probes are going down. He's got a 3rd base on the way. He is warping in wave after wave of stalkers, and now he does have a stalker count high enough to actually force these Phoenixes back. But again, he's going to be playing a little bit from behind. To catch up, we need something like this. We need some depth harassment, and just like that, he's going to be able to pick off 4 probes.
Yeah, 4 probes is nice, but at the same time, this is exactly what the Phoenixes just did. So, you know, still not ideal, but at least the worker counts are staying close.
They are. And again, like, this is better than nothing right now. StarDuck, he knows he's behind, so he's going to be going for a Dark Shrine. Fingers crossed that it doesn't get scouted. That's kind of the big thing right now. Can he keep this hidden from these Phoenixes, as the Phoenixes have full map control right now? They are being pushed away. Finally, 1 Phoenix is going to go down, but, oh god, catching these transferring workers is brutal.
Yeah, another loss of probes for StarDuck. I selected one on the edge. It looked like it was baiting the Phoenixes to lift, but these stalkers should be able to chase them away. But as we said, like I don't know if they're just enough to chase away the Phoenixes that just jump from base to base. And since StarDuck is behind, we are getting a Dark Shrine.
Yeah, I did mention that earlier, but yes, the Dark Shrine is coming out. DT is going to be coming out as well. We do have detection available for FightingFrog, unfortunately. Like, we already have 2 observers on the map. We have a 3rd observer on the way. Just because there's detection doesn't mean that DTs can't deal damage. The observers are on the map, but StarDuck still has an opportunity to try and slip on in to try and find some damage here, as these couple of adepts are going to get caught out as well.
Yeah, once again, unfortunate losses for StarDuck as they were not able to sneak in once again. He is getting a reinforcement points on the other side of the map, which would be helpful, but at the same time he has to defend this attack that is now coming.
Yeah, exactly. We do have a bit of a counterattack here from FightingFrog. Looking at the units tab, FightingFrog is down in Stalkers, but he has that Immortal to make up for it, so he still has quite a terrifying army. With the defender's advantage with shield battery, StarDuck should be okay, but in come those Phoenixes.
Yeah, the Phoenix is joining. The Stalkers are all lifted in the air, and now the army of FightingFrog is equal, if not better, of StarDucks with that Immortal as well. But the lifts don't last forever.
Yeah, they do. Nice target fire there by FightingFrog. He was able to take down that shield battery that was overcharged very quickly. StarDuck does defend in the end because of his higher Stalker count, but it did cost him more workers. And again, he hasn't been able to replenish them. Finally, we're going to be making use of these DTs, but they got spotted immediately.
Yeah, the Phoenix is flying back to the base, actually spotted the pylon on the way. So really unfortunate location for StarDuck. Maybe it would be better to put it a bit more out of the way, but at the same time the Phoenixes are all over the map. So
yeah, again, that just goes to show the power of Phoenixes, especially from an early stage, because they've been able to slowly gain value over time, and they were never fully dealt with. A couple of Phoenixes did die earlier, but literally only one. Like, because of that, again, the Phoenixes have just done so much. Bearing in mind that, again, if it wasn't for the Phoenixes here, StarDuck, he would have defended, honestly, beautifully. He would have maybe even gotten a kill on that Immortal. It just goes to show how much the Phoenixes really do add up.
yeah, the Phoenixes are definitely doing a lot for FightingFrog this game. And he is now safe to transition for his next step of the way. Like, he already getting his Robo Bay and getting his 4th.
Yeah, the 4th is on the way. We're going to be getting into Disruptors as well. FightingFrog does have that upgrade advantage as he already has +1. He's working on +2. Again, like, I'm really impressed that StarDuck has been able to survive, like, the early game long enough to get his 3rd up and running. But again, he's still, like, barely surviving. Something else needs to be done here. Like, the DTs unfortunately didn't really work out. Taking up quickly into Disruptors may have been a play, but because of the high ping, I don't even know if Disruptors would be even reliable here for StarDuck.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we know the Disruptors as the great equalizers, but with high ping, it may be really hard to micro this, and you have to keep in mind that FightingFrog will have Disruptors of his, so it's gonna be a very delicate dance there.
Yeah, exactly. Again, I don't blame StarDuck for not opting to go for something like Disruptors, but that's the biggest problem with PvP. It is very control intensive. It is very micro intensive when it comes to blinks, when it comes to Disruptors, when it comes to Phoenixes and pickups as well. So yeah, opting to go for a more charged or AqueroN heavy composition, I don't blame him.
Yeah, definitely, that's definitely a good idea, and we'll see what StarDuck can do with this. The upgrades are actually fairly close, which is nice. StarDuck is a little bit behind, but it's not like a huge delay. But will the upgrades be in time for this army coming?
I mean, FightingFrog, he's going to be moving out here with a massive supply lead right now. Of course, we have to say that there is a defender's advantage, of course, which will help StarDuck out with the cannons, with the shield batteries, with the overcharge. Will it make up as much of a difference? I mean, it'll, at the end of the day, come down to that engagement.
Yes, indeed. And they are engaging right now. StarDuck is not dodging that Nova completely, but only a few Stalkers left, fortunately. He has so many Archons now.
Does have a lot of Archons, and they can tank Novas. To be fair, there's only one Disruptor with this army, so right now there is no Nova for StarDuck to worry about, so he can push on forward. He blinks as well, going to be able to pick up a couple of these Stalkers, which is nice, but at the same time, FightingFrog is going to be rotating over towards that 4th base location, and yeah, it is going to be forcing a cancel here. Yeah,
no 4th base for StarDuck. Meanwhile, FightingFrog already setting up his 5th and getting a Dark Shrine of his own, so this is looking rough. The Zealots are now running straight into the natural, but StarDuck is stopping them for now.
Yeah, StarDuck is able to rotate over in time, and he does clean up all these zelts, but again, he's still stuck on these 3 bases. He needs another base sooner rather than later. We can see, again, the disparity in the production tab here. FightingFrog, he's getting another base up and running. We've got a +3, we've got +1 air attack, we've got our own Dark Shrine.
The War Prism. That it is. Quickly, snipe the Nexus before the cannons are there.
There are some DETs available here for StarDuck, but at the same time, StarDuck has to focus on this main army. Earlier, there was 1 Disruptor, now there are 4.
Yeah, there are 4 the Immortals as well. StarDuck has to disengage when the Novas are out, but this is really difficult for him to fight here, especially with all of these choke points.
Yeah, exactly. He has to be very delicate with how he engages. 2 Novas are going to go off and take down 2 of those Archons, a handful of Stalkers as well. We have a couple of reinforcements coming in from the left-hand side. Where are those Novas? We still have a couple remaining here for FightingFrog.
Yeah, FightingFrog actually moving back despite StarDuck having smaller army visually, but he is dodging the Novas. Nice. I still think FightingFrog has enough though.
Yeah, with the aggressive blink forward, FightingFrog is going to be able to clean up the entire army. GG gets called, and FightingFrog is going to take the first game. GG again. Unfortunately, there was other things working against StarDuck here in the first game. It really was apparent, I will say, especially in the early game. I'm pretty sure that the Adepts wouldn't have dealt as much damage if it wasn't for that at the start of the game. Maybe I can say the same when it comes to the Oracle and the first couple of units. As the game progressed, like, things were able to even up a little bit more, but yeah, GG to FightingFrog.
GG indeed, as Platinum Heroes will be taking that first game. And yeah, unfortunately for StarDuck, because like he was trying to do the right things, but it was just not working for him since the very beginning.
Yeah, rough start there. But again, GG, well played. With that, of course, Platinum Heroes are going to take a 1-0 lead in this series, but the series will go on, and I'm happy to say that our lovely player here, our American Protoss, is awake. I was really concerned. I was really afraid, as I wasn't getting any responses from him, but he is now here, and we are going to be getting into a PvP.
Yes, indeed, and it will be a PvP between PattyMac and Rodzyn. So another Polish Protoss player.
One of many.
One of many.
Let me just get something sorted here, and I believe this is going to be on West East. I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we are going to be getting ready here for our PvP. PattyMac, of course, gonna be feeling a little bit better on this server against our European Polish Protoss player, but yeah, see how we get into another one of these PvPs.
Yeah, and let's hope it goes better than the previous one, but I do have faith in PattyMac. He can do well.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, he is, of course, one of the stronger members of the Ducklings. He was able to, I hope, prove himself to everyone in our WTL matches. I hope that was the case, but he has to continue to prove himself here, as again, Rodzyn is no pushover. A little bit of a lesser name, I feel, than some of the other Polish Protosses, like Art, for example, but still an amazing player nonetheless.
I'm thinking, because like, I can't call him a newcomer because he's not exactly new. Because I've been seeing him for years, but I guess he's more of like a community persona rather than, you know, a pro player.
I'll have to take your word for that, because, you know, Rodzyn, he has been competing for quite some time. There's a reason why he's on Platinum Heroes. There's a reason why he's here competing in this team league match. But yeah, it's hard to really stand out as a Polish Protoss player when you're in a region like, like Art, like Cristiano, like Geralt.
Yeah, definitely. And recently we've had a huge rise of all of these Polish Protosses. But let's see how this one does, as we are now looking at the base of the Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss player, representing Platinum Heroes, Rodzyn.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Moondance, we have the American Protoss player himself, representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is PattyMac.
I would just say it will never be not weird to say an English sentence and put a Polish name in it. Like my brain has to like switch the way it pronounces things.
I was gonna ask this earlier. Actually, does Rodzyn mean anything in Polish, or is it just?
It kinda does. I mean, I don't know where his name came from, but I think the closest translation would be a raisin, like like a dried grapefruit, like raisins.
A raisin.
But it's but look, like you generally don't use it in like how do I put it? It's not exactly the word, but that's what it means. Because basically, like the singular raisin is feminine form, but this is a masculine form.
So it's like it's a male raisin.
Yes.
There you go.
Let's call it that.
Okay. Oh god. Well, let's see if he will be dry enough.
Oh god, no! This is abort.
I'm trying to come up with something for raisin.
It's just like when I see that name, like I think of raisins. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, exactly. You know, he may be old, he may be dry, he may be wrinkled, but you know what? He tastes damn good. Rodzyn, everyone.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Nobody clipped that for him.
I love you, Rodzyn. I love you. I'm just having fun. As we are getting into our game, and so far we have a pretty standard opener here on Moondance. We do have a 2-gate opener, which makes sense. You know, this is one of the maps that doesn't have that ramp on the low ground. And so far, we see some pretty standard openers. Unfortunately, we weren't able to play our favorite game, guess the 2 units coming out, as both players did go for double Stalker opener.
Yeah, and Rodzyn is already following it up with a Stargate, so we will have once again these air units coming out. Meanwhile, PattyMac is sticking to the ground army for now, as these 2 Stalkers are trying to fight here.
Oh yeah, it looks like we're going to be trading 1 for 1 here between our 2 Stalkers, but Rodzyn is able to shoot first with his own, able to force PattyMac back. He also didn't want to stick around because Rodzyn does have the defender's advantage, and we did have a couple more Stalkers on the way.
I'm actually kind of impressed that it was exactly 1 for 1. That's really nice, really nicely timed.
Definitely. But you know what? As Rodzyn makes 2 more Stalkers, we had 2 Adepts coming up from PattyMac. He avoids the Stalkers in the middle of the map and is going to try and sneak into the main base. Ooh, Rodzyn doesn't have a probe here to wall off.
Yeah, there's no wall. It's a big hole in the wall as well, so the Adept should have an easy time coming right in, and there is no shield battery yet.
Oh, no shield battery at all. The Adepts do get in. We do have an Oracle coming out. The Oracle is force activated Pulsar Beam. No mining whatsoever here in the main base, and workers are falling.
Yeah, now with the shield battery, the Pro should be safe, and the Oracle is dealing with them, but that means that both the Oracle is delayed and some few probe kills, which is always nice.
Yeah, very nice start here from PattyMac. He didn't just get those worker kills, he also forced the Oracle to back off as well. I was kind of hoping the Adept would finish off the Stalker, but regardless. The Oracle now with quite an inefficient trade, or forced to use his energy earlier, doesn't really have any to harass across the map, but will at least scout and make sure there isn't anything crazy going on. No weird Dark Shrine or anything like that.
Oh, PattyMac once again trying to attack with the Stalkers, but Rodzyn actually has enough forces here to deflect him very easily. But at the same time, it doesn't look like the Oracle is getting much damage on the other side of the map either, so I guess both of the players are just being very safe.
Yeah, I mean, we have a shield battery here as well, so 1 Oracle can't really do any damage. A little bit of hull damage as well on said Oracle. We have a Revelation just to get scouting on things. And the other important thing to take note of is that PattyMac was able to get his natural up a little bit faster than his opponent because, again, Rodzyn did prioritize his Stargate, did prioritize his tech over his natural.
Yeah, indeed. This Oracle is still shocking here for some damage, but it's being deflected. It's not down though. Like actually, Rodzyn is microing it well enough that it did not get sniped despite all of these Stalkers in every base. And what is this? Someone is being very sneaky.
Yeah, he's actually trying to catch the Oracle. I love it. Unfortunately, it was a slow warp in, so it takes a while, and the Oracle was able to get back home in the end. But it was a cute move.
Yeah, no, it was an attempt. I will give him that. Like, he almost got it too. Like, if the warping was faster, he would actually get it.
Yeah, for sure. Oh god. Meanwhile, Rodzyn, he is trying to transition back into Blink Stalkers, but we can see that Blink is still barely halfway done, and PattyMac, he already has his own, so there is going to be a massive window here where he will have that advantage. Rodzyn's fully aware of that, and I love it. He has a stasis ward here, a stasis trap back at home.
Yeah, and he's baiting PattyMac into it as well, moving his stalkers back, just so PattyMac has to move into the base if he wants to get any damage done. The Oracle is still trying on the other side of the map, but only getting the tags. And will PattyMac spot the stasis?
Oh, it looks like he does, and a massive stage trap does go up here on 6 of those stalkers. Just like that, PattyMac has to abandon this engagement, and he has to get the hell out of here before he loses too much of his units, especially once that stasis runs out.
I am a bit concerned though that despite Rodzyn going for the Stargate, PattyMac actually has less stalkers than him, at least on this side of the map. So he has to be very careful to not be behind on the units.
Oh, he really
But
does.
instead, he's getting a third base.
Yeah, you know, what he lacks in units, he makes up for in a third base. Rodzyn is getting a third of his own, but unfortunately, Rodzyn's third is kind of half a base, really, so this isn't really going to pay for itself, or it isn't going to be as worth it as PattyMac, so again, he's going to be able to maintain his economy, and he's going to make up for that as well with a bit of a better production here as he's going into his gateway explosion. A charge is on the way, it's on the horizon as well.
Yeah. Ooh, finally sniping that Oracle. PattyMac being very vigilant in his defense, and the props on the third base are safe, but at the same time, Rodzyn is now moving in.
Yeah, Rodzyn's going to be moving on in, bearing in mind that PattyMac does have a stalker advantage here, and with that blink, okay, he's going to be able to force Rodzyn all the way back. We don't want to chase too far here, as Rodzyn is going to be able to take control of this high ground, but no, he doesn't even want to turn around and fight. He doesn't want to risk it, doesn't want to lose too much.
Yeah, Rodzyn being very careful that with not having the advantage in stalkers, doesn't want to lose his whole army for no reason, as he is preparing his transition into the more robo units.
Yeah, I love this from Rodzyn. I was kind of talking about this in the previous game with StarDuck, talking about how if you're behind, there are ways to come back, really big, powerful ways to come back in a PvP matchup, and one of them is going into fast disruptors. Because you can be behind 20 supply, disruptors will make up for that, or they can make up for that.
Yeah, they can make. Let's not be too like if you get a nice shot, it can really like start your comeback. But if you don't, it's really tricky.
It really is. Meanwhile, PattyMac is going to lose 2 stalkers here in the retreat. He does get an observer though, and that is going to keep Rodzyn a little bit more in the dark. It's going to be harder to catch up or keep up with army rotations. Meanwhile, again, bearing in mind that PattyMac actually has a little bit of a lower worker count. A little bit surprised because he's still on 2 gases, actually taking a 4th right now. Why is his worker count lower? Why doesn't he take his gases? Well, he's got charge, and I'm sure he wants to go into charge lots as well behind this.
Yeah, PattyMac is just focused on his army right now a little bit more, as he is being very aggressive on this side of the map, and he will try to deny this 4th, it looks like.
Yeah, he's going to rotate around here towards that 4th base. Rodzyn a little bit slow to keep up. Again, he doesn't have vision. He doesn't have any kind of vision or detection whatsoever out here, as we do see a cancel.
Yeah, straight cancel there for Rodzyn, and PattyMac is chasing this army. He has to be careful about these Novas.
Oh yeah, one Nova's gonna force him back again. Rodzyn with a bit of an anti-timing. +1 only just now finishes after the engagement, after PattyMac is able to just out-trade his opponent.
Yeah, and now the disruptors are out, so the stalkers are safe to chase the army of Rodzyn. Ooh, Rodzyn almost pulling a Nova into his own probes.
That's a monk-ass moment, mate. Oh god, but PattyMac again doing a great job of containing his opponent. Mate, I was talking about him getting up to 4 bases. We have a 5th base on the way. Finally, PattyMac is taking the rest of his gases, so he can start taking up. This entire time, by the way, he's been working only off of 2 gases, so he hasn't really been able to be too gas-intensive with his army. Now, that is going to change.
Yeah, and he's sending a whole group of chargers with this army as well, so that will help, but he has to still dodge these Novas. Ooh!
Yeah, very good purification over there on PattyMac's army. Was that 4 or 5 stalkers going down? But now it's going to be a little bit harder for Rodzyn to engage. We have charges to help buffer for PattyMac, and I'm really curious to see how he techs up here with his additional gases. Is he going to go into Stargates? Is he going to go into disruptors of his own, which wouldn't be a bad choice whatsoever. As PattyMac right now, he's just checking to see if the 4th has been retaken.
Oh, it looks like he's gonna try and sandwich this army, getting the Chargers on one side and the Stalkers on the other. The Disruptors are trying to do their best, but actually all the Novas are being dodged.
Oh, exactly. Nice target fire as well. The Disruptors are going to go down before the Novas connect, but are there enough Stalkers? That's what I'm kind of worried about here, because the Zealots are being cleaned up, and Rodzyn does have a higher Stalker count.
Yeah, I mean, PattyMac did really well sniping all of these Disruptors, so the Disruptor count is completely reset. But his army is actually smaller than Rodzyn's right now, so maybe not the best idea to dive there.
Yeah, I mean, I would say a better trade overall for PattyMac, and right now he's vulnerable, but Rodzyn doesn't go for a counterattack. He's still more concerned with actually establishing his 4th base. So PattyMac, because of his bases, because of his economy, he can back off, he can start working on his army again, and I'm just so surprised. He's still committed to this kind of swarm toss style. You know, no additional robos, no additional tech, just straight up gateway army.
My brain just blanked out. Guys, it's happening. My brain just completely blanked out.
Please.
I was going to say something and it's just like
So yeah, PattyMac is looking to just overwhelm whatever Rodzyn has. Again, we have more Disruptors coming out, and Disruptors can make or break an engagement, but the supplies are starting to get higher and higher here for PattyMac. We have all of our Stalkers, we have our upgrades, +2 is done, we have +1 armor on the horizon as well. Looking like PattyMac once again wants to go for a bit of a surround.
Yeah, he's trying to get us around. The Zealots are now coming in. He's pulling the Stalkers really far away from the base of Rodzyn, but he's meeting the Disruptors.
Yeah, and the Purification Novas are going to go up here on these Zealots. Another Nova going up as well. We do have Blink on cooldown. PattyMac tanking another one to the face, but doesn't matter because he still has quite a number of Stalkers here.
Yeah, actually looks like despite these Novas, he still has enough army to fight Rodzyn here. I mean, he has to be careful about the reinforcements because, as we know, the defender's advantage is pretty strong, but actually really nice attack for PattyMac, all things considered.
Yeah, PattyMac is able to make it kind of worth it in the end, but it wasn't an efficient fight. He is like trading so inefficiently against these Disruptors. Thankfully, because of his better economy, he can afford these inefficient fights.
Look at the blink micro on both sides. This is one of my favorite things about PvP.
Oof. Yeah, exactly. Nice blinks here from PattyMac, making up for the blunder earlier, but Rodzyn has another base on the way, and this is a scary moment here because Rodzyn, what's been holding him back is his economy, but if he gets his base up and running, he can kind of make up for it. He can catch up in that Stalker count. He can take an even greater advantage with these Disruptors. I feel like PattyMac is on a bit of a timer here.
Yeah, I mean, PattyMac is taking all of these bases, like the entire half of the map is his by now. But his army, I feel like it's still lacking something. It's just purely Stalkers now.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's an intentional thing. Like, we have 4 more Stalkers on, sorry, 4 more Gateways on the way. Like, PattyMac is intentionally only going pure Gateway for his army of choice. He wants to just brute force, kind of overwhelm and overpower Rodzyn here. And there's a lot of power in this style, don't get me wrong. We can see that, but unfortunately, again, there's a little bit of longevity. There's not that much longevity with this style.
Yeah, I mean, like, if he doesn't get enough damage soon, like, this army will slowly get overpowered by the forces of Rodzyn. Oh, sniping more Disruptors.
Oh my god, and this makes up for it. 3 Disruptors go down without a single Nova going off. PattyMac is getting caught out a little bit here, so he has to be careful not to trade too inefficiently, but at the same time, we have Zealots here at the fresh base of Rodzyn.
Yeah, once again, 12 probes going down, no mining at this 4th base, and I mean, PattyMac is trying to face the main army, but that may be a little bit ambitious, but at the very least, he's definitely damaging this base.
Yeah, I mean, 12 workers did end up going down. The Zealots are a great buffer here for PattyMac. We have reinforcements being warped in back at home. The other downside is that we don't have a reinforcement point. We don't have a gateway in the middle of the map. We don't have a warp prism whatsoever, so it takes a while for PattyMac's reinforcements to really kick in.
Yeah, I did. Definitely missing some a warp prism or a pylon there. But I mean, for the time being, he's keeping his position, but how long can he keep it as Rodzyn's army is slowly starting to snowball?
I mean, the Stalker count's getting pretty goddamn high, don't get us wrong, but we only have 1 Disruptor here. The Novas, sorry, 2 Disruptors. Novas are going to go off. Oh, decent connection on some of those Zealots, but again, there were only 2 Disruptors, and now PattyMac, that's his sign to go.
Yeah, the rest of the Stalkers finally joined the fight, and I think PattyMac has the numbers for it, but he has to be careful about all these shield batteries.
Yeah, the shield batteries are going to be able to hold the line there at the natural base, but the 5th base will go down. Rodzyn just was being spread a little bit too thin and only relying on 2 Disruptors. It wasn't enough to hold on to his fresh base.
Yeah, once again losing 12 probes, so actually there's almost 30 probe difference right now.
Exactly. PattyMac is now maxed. 3-2 is about to kick in as well when it comes to the upgrades. Another Nova going up, misses the army. The blink on 4 takes out every single disruptor once again.
And now it's just Stalkers versus Stalkers. A few charges still remaining, but PattyMac's army just rallying in, and I think he's got this.
Oh, but you know what? We have some DTs, and I love that choice here from Rodzyn because PattyMac hasn't been making any detection. He doesn't have very many robots to work with. We finally have an observer on the way, but those DTs are going to push PattyMac back.
Yeah, what happened to the other observer of PattyMac? I'm pretty sure he had some on the other side of the map, but it must have been sniped then.
Yeah, it must have been sniped earlier. DTs are now fanning around the entire map. We have cannons on our fringe bases. So again, this is only going to protect the bases here for Rodzyn. It isn't really going to deal too much harassing damage. But here we go. 5 DTs head towards the top right-hand corner of the map, and there's only 1 cannon.
Yeah, 1 cannon. I think they can snipe it easily enough. But I just can't stop looking at the minimap where like PattyMac has almost taken his entire side of the map.
Yeah, almost his entire.
Like even if he loses this base, there is more.
Oh yeah. Like this is only just buying time for Rodzyn, and to be fair, he needs time right now. You know, he's making more DTs, he's making more disruptors. Again, we've only seen like 1 really good Nova, but if he gets another, again, he can take a fight. It's just that's really what he's relying on right now. DTs and disruptors.
Yeah, this is once again moving into this base. There is no cannon here, but there is an observer, or even 2, so they should be dealt with.
Yeah, I mean, there's no blink on these DTs, and the recall was used earlier on the top right, so the DTs all get cleaned up. We have another squad of DTs here towards the bottom left-hand corner of the map as well, looking to wait for their opportune moment. Rodzyn trying to sneak out another 5th base.
Yeah, the army of PattyMac is rotating towards the north right now, and he will try once again to dive on this.
Yeah, exactly. Pushing up ramp into disruptors is never a good thing to do, but here we go. We see the aggressive blink on forward as well. He's trying to focus on the disruptors. He will get them once again, and GG gets called. PattyMac fights back for the Ducklings and takes game 2.
GG. Very nicely done from PattyMac. I mean, I feel like he was actually had an advantage in this game throughout the entire game, but like he was like this close from overextending, you know? Like every time he attacked, he was like losing a little bit too much, and I was starting to get worried, but in the end he was able to get it.
Oh my god. In the end, he did get it. GG, well played. Again, I was really scared. I was really concerned about how things would go, about especially because, like, you know, like it can be really hard fighting against disruptors. Let's be real here. Let's be real. But PattyMac was doing such a great job overall at targeting them down one after the other, and at just mass expanding behind it as well. Again, there's a reason why this style is called Swarm Toss. It's almost like he's a Zerg player, where you just keep expanding, you keep taking bases, and you just keep pumping out these cheap gateway units that you just amass over time.
I can't say I see this style too often. Like I know that I can't really watch a lot of like ESL Open Cup Asias and stuff, but I rarely see Swarm Toss kind of styles. So I was just taken back by all these bases on the map, and PattyMac just constantly expanding.
Oh, yeah. It's a sight to behold. It's a sight to behold. Again, very unique style. I guess a bit of a fun fact. It's a style that Haas actually I almost said perfected. No, he popularized. Maybe last year, maybe 2 years ago, Haas in his DreamHack season would do this against Nice, and a lot of people saw it, and they were in awe at how Haas was able to just, instead of being very cheesy, just be ultra greedy with like a very high probe count and just send wave after wave of like Blinkstalker Zealot.
Interesting, very interesting. I'm surprised, and at the same time I'm not surprised that it will be Haas who would come up with that.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense that Haas will do that. But from here, we are now getting ready for our second series. We're tied up 1-1, so you know we are getting a bit of a more back and forth series between us and the Platinum Heroes. But we'll see how things go from here, because honestly, I would go as far as to say Art, I feel like he is the ace player for Platinum Heroes.
So quickly fix the Wikipedia, because apparently I entered stuff wrong. Don't worry about it.
Yes, yes. So Art is really the one to beat in the best of one. It's gonna be scary. It's gonna be a little bit terrifying.
Yeah, Art is definitely one of the stronger players. I mean, he's even one of the stronger Polish Protoss players. So
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
that's definitely someone to be careful there about.
Definitely. Like when I think of when I think of the Polish Protoss players out there, Art is up there. You know, he's kind of who I think of, and it's been really cool to see him solidify himself here in this position amongst all the other players in his country. So he's a great player in his own right. He's kind of like the Vindicta for Platinum Heroes, I would say. I mean, maybe the other Platinum Heroes players will say otherwise. I don't know. At least from the outside looking in, that's what it feels like. But we'll see if Dolan can match up to him.
Yes, indeed. I mean, look. Dolan is a Firefly sniper, okay? Just want to point that out.
Sure.
So, look, he may not get all the wins he can, but I mean, all the wins that he has the opportunity to, but if it is a TVP, I have faith. I have faith in some interesting Dolan builds.
I have faith as well. I have faith in a best of one. Let's go. We are loading on in. As a reminder, just to let everyone know, this is going to be on the European server here. We are tied up 1-1 in this best of 5.
Yes, indeed. And we are starting looking at the Polish Protoss player in pink. It is the one and only representing the Platinum Heroes, Art.
And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Cosmic Sapphire, we have the CranKy Duckling himself. Hailing from the land of the Americas, it is Dolan.
I like that Dolan gets to pick his yellow.
I know. For those who don't know, when we were casting World Team League, Dolan was trying to pick yellow, but the tournament organizers did force him to switch his colors and switch over to either red or blue.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. I mean, to be fair, I feel like we would accept blue, okay?
Mhm.
Because blue is the water, you know, like where the ducks swim. It's like the color of the wave in our logo, so we can accept blue. But yellow is the color of the duck.
It is. It really is. And we'll see if the power of the duck can help him here as he goes up against the ace of Platinum Heroes. So far, we do have a single gas opener, but we do have a proxy. Oh, sorry, we do have a SCV, a worker out here in the top right-hand corner of the map, and Art is denied entry into the main. Ooh.
Yes, indeed. Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so will it be like a drop with like a starport next to it, or what am I looking at?
So I imagine this is going to be a proxy 1-1. You know, we have the factory out here for a reason, and I'm pretty sure it's so we can get a starport out. I wouldn't be surprised if the factory even makes an add-on, so we can see a bit of an add-on switch as well. But at the same time, I'm not going to pretend like I know how Dolan plays, because Dolan has his own special quote-unquote Dolan builds.
I mean, that's what we were expecting, and I guess that's what we're getting. I just wonder where this is going. I'm glad that he was able to stop Art from scouting, and it looks like it's gonna be just straight Widow Mines.
Yeah, it's gonna be a Widow Mine drop. In a proxy Widow Mine. So you don't see this too often. So we've seen a couple of things. We've seen you proxy a factory and they float it into the main base and you make Widow Mines in the base of your opponents. We've seen proxy Banshee. We've seen proxy earlier today, Gumiho did proxy BC. It was disgusting.
Oh my god.
But you know, there are things like that, but this is again a little bit out of the norm, and this is a little bit scary here because Art is going to be looking around to scout. To be fair, this location here is the most obvious place for our proxy starport, so this is going to be a little bit further out, so going to be a little bit harder to scout.
Anyway, I find it really cute that the first Widow Mine is dug in front of the proxy, so in case when the probe comes in, it's gonna get sniped. I mean, I would put it a bit farther away so it actually gets sniped before it gets there, but still a nice spot.
Oh, exactly. Meanwhile, at the same time, Dolan trying to dive on top of the Adept does deal a little bit of hold damage there, but not much else, trying to force this back. Again, Art doing the best that he can to try and scout his opponent, bearing in mind, again, this is still all off of a one-base build. I love that we still have Marines being pumped out here back at home. I imagine he's going to be going, there we go, for a tank push follow-up.
There's a lot of Marines, by the way, on that side of the map, but
Oh.
I guess they are busy chasing. Ooh, the Adept gets in, but it's gonna be chased, but now Art knows that something is wrong, but is that enough time, as the Widowmines are already in his main?
Yeah, this is a big mistake here. Now red flag, alarm bells are ringing here for Art. Doesn't matter, there's no reaction! Where's the reaction, puppy? Oh, God!
8 probes, not bad. I mean, could be better, definitely, but 8 probes is pretty good.
Yeah, Art, unfortunately, he just wasn't paying attention at the wrong time there. 8 probes going down, bearing in mind that the Widowmines were also saved, and they will be used with the main push. Here we go, the tank is moving out, the Marines are moving out as well. Dolan, he's going to be pulling some boys. He's going for this one base all in.
Yeah, the boy, not all the boys, just some boys, just to fix the tank. And yeah, it may be actually a really strong push. I wonder what Art has prepared in his base, because we did see a Stalker, but is there anything else?
Yeah, well, again, so
Okay, we have 5.
because of his scout, he knows that both the factory and the starport have been proxied. Now he knows for certain, so he knows how committed this push is going to be. We have 1 shield battery, we have a 2nd shield battery on the way at the natural base. We're going to have enough energy for an overcharge as well, but this is all powered. Okay, there's a 2nd pylon to make sure that if 1 pylon falls, at least this will still be powered.
Oh, the Liberator is really adding nice value here, because yeah, when Dolan moves back, the Stalkers cannot chase him.
Yeah, meanwhile, the medevac almost got targeted down. Thankfully, we do have a couple of boys here to repair. We have the slow push of tanks and liberators leapfrogging forward. We have a bunker as well. This is going to be a powerful push, but a slow one. So Art has time to respond. If he wants to, he can evacuate the natural.
Also, the Widowmines are making a comeback here as well, but Dolan has to be careful not to get some friendly fire here. But hey, this Nexus is starting to get low.
Yeah, again, the Nexus is going to fall, but again, this has to do more than just kill the Nexus. This has to go all the way into the main base. Art, he's wrapping around. He wants to try and get a full surround here on these tanks.
Ooh, the tank in the back is spotting the Stalkers, so they cannot move in here. And the CVs will be helping to fix it as well, so really rough position for Art, but can Dolan do this?
At the same time, a Liberator tries to slip into the mineral line there, but it gets shut down. Dolan is losing reinforcements. His push is getting a little bit weaker as time goes on, so Art is doing a great job. Oh my god, he's even going to catch a tank!
No, the tank was rallied straight in through the army and it's getting sniped, but at the same time the army of Dolan is now moving into the main base and the Stalkers are behind.
Yeah, the Stalkers are out of position because behind this we have Widowmines, we have our tanks as well to help buffer. We do have Art gonna try and dive on top of these tanks, and the Marines they're not here to protect them.
Yeah, the Marines were too busy fighting in the main base and both tanks are going down, but the Marines are still alive and the bunkers are going up now.
Yeah, these bunkers are crucial. They need to finish right now because otherwise these Stalkers are going to pull him apart because there are so many of them. We still have 2 Liberators with this main army. It looks like, yeah, that position has been given up. These bunkers will not finish.
The bunkers will not finish, at least for the time being. One of the Liberators gets sniped, but there are still Marines here and there is 0 mining for Art.
Yeah, 0 mining for Art. Art has half the worker count of Dolan right now, but he's going to be able to outposition these Marines. He tries to get on top of the Liberator. Liberator will reposition though, and the medevac, is barely going to survive.
Yeah, the SCVs are still there to repair and they are continuing the construction of the bunkers, so the position is still strong for Dolan, but the medevac now goes down and this is the whole army he has.
Medevac goes down, but you know what? The bunker finishes and that is huge. We now have an anchor point. The reinforcements are coming on in. They are no longer being cut off. We have a tank, we have a Liberator. Robo goes down, the main base is going to go down, and Art has nothing left.
What did I tell you?
Go.
The proto sniper.
GG, well played. Dolan took down Firefly. Dolan took down the ace of Platinum Heroes as well. Mate, Miguelito Vindicta, he's having some sweet dreams right now. He's in bed, you know, he's dreaming of he's dreaming of Protoss dying out there to a weird 1-base push. He sees this in his very dream, and that was beautiful.
I mean, hold on. To be fair, I feel like we should send this replay to Vindicta, so the moment he loads his stream, he watches this replay. Like, don't tell him what's in it. Like, don't tell him what the score is, and just make him watch this replay on stream.
Yep.
I want his live reaction to this.
Yeah, send this to Vindicta to me. Make it. You know what? Make him make like a Ko-fi, like a Patreon video about this as well. GG, well played. Congratulations to Dolan as he takes down Art, and he gives us a bit of a lead in this series. And now we head back on over to the land of the Americas. Oh. And as I quickly switch the scenes over here, as Kuro seems to, is working on the Wikipedia page, we are going into game number 4. If we win this game, that is it. We take the series 3-1. Right now, the pressure is on AqueroN to fight back against Erik.
Yes, indeed. Finally, like I saw somebody in the chat when we were playing the World Team League that Erik is not showing like often enough. So there you go. Erik is here. He's ready. In fact, we heard that he's gonna be focusing on StarCraft more now, so we may be seeing him more often.
Yeah. As a bit of like background information, Erik has been splitting his time between Age of Empires 4 and StarCraft 2. So because of that, he hasn't been as active as we would have liked. You know, we would have appreciated it so much if he was a little bit more involved in some of our matches. So it is a bit of a shame, but now he has returned and he is looking to invest his time and dedicate his time to StarCraft once again. And this is going to be his big first step here before DreamHack Latin America. You know, can he go up against the Spaniard Terran? Terran specifically because, you know, there's a lot of good Terran players in Latin America.
I mean, yeah, there's one called Terran, for example.
There's Terran, there's Special, there's Kelazur. Oh boy, so this is gonna get pretty intense here, as again this is where AqueroN needs to show up. He needs to fight back. He needs to win this game to bring it all the way to the ace match.
Yeah, as a reminder, this is a best of 5 team league, so if Erik wins here, the Ducklings will be winning with a 3-1 score. So if AqueroN, it's on AqueroN now to bring it to the ace match and like give you another chance for Platinum Heroes.
Exactly. The other exciting thing is that, hey, everyone, we finally get a Zerg. We've been getting a lot of Protoss and Terran so far.
Yes, indeed. And we are going to Stargazers, the map that apparently nobody wants to play for some reason.
That's for a lot of
but
reasons.
We are looking now. There's a lot of reasons you say. You say so? But we are now looking at the base of the blue Terran player representing Platinum Heroes and Spain, right? I'm correct, Spain. Spain itself. It is AqueroN.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Stargazers, we have the Brazilian Zerg player himself representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Erik.
So, question. Does AqueroN mean anything?
I have no idea. In Spanish, it's not a word that I've heard before.
Okay. I was just curious.
I thought you were going to say, does Erik mean anything, Kuro?
Yes, it means endurance, righteousness, intellect, kangaroo.
Let's go.
The F in Erik stands for fear.
The F in Erik stands for fear. Let's go. As we have a very interesting opener coming out from Erik, going for a hatch first, but it's a bit of a fake hatch first because he goes for a pull behind this, and oh my god, yeah, a very early pull at that.
So the chat is reporting that apparently everybody is playing Protoss on our overlays. Just saying.
Oh, really? On our overlays? Oh, no, yeah. Oh, yeah, my bad. My mistake. Hold on.
So apparently we're missing Protoss so much that we made all our players Protoss just for today.
my bad. I have fixed it after this game when we get out of the scene. My apologies. But here we go. So with this earlier pool, we do have Queen production already commencing here. We do have early links as well. But yeah, we'll see how this turns out here. I was a little bit concerned for Erik coming out on Stargazers just because we can see some of the advantages of Stargazers, and that is that pocket base.
Yeah, AqueroN opts in to take this pocket base. I mean, there is that mineral, those minerals that can be mined out, and I wouldn't put it past Erik to try that, but he seems to be doing a bit of a more calmer game right now, getting his Roach Warren.
Yeah, exactly. Again, the earlier spawning pool did kind of lead towards this. So Erik opting not to get link speed, skipping link speed entirely, going straight for a roach push. And it's going to be on AqueroN to try and scout what's going on. Bearing in mind that because of the much earlier hatchery than normal, it kind of looks like a hatch first. So AqueroN, he's being fed a little bit of misinformation. He's going to try and slip one in, confirming, okay, you don't have the pocket base. What else is amiss here as he's slipping into the main?
Yeah, and only now he will see the roach when the roaches are already on their way, and they will be soon moving to the other side of the map. And can he prepare in time? I think he has enough time. He's making that bunker now. The factory is already finished, and he's working on another CC.
Yeah, this is also why I don't really like a roach push on this map, just because typically a roach push would at least deny mining and apply pressure to the natural. But because of the pocket base, that doesn't really matter. You know, AqueroN, he's safe and sound with his natural. He's already working on a third CC as well. Very, like, a relatively greedy opener. We have a bunker here on the way, on the ramp. Erik is trying to force an overreaction, but on this map, I feel like you don't really need too much of an overreaction, or too much of a reaction period.
Yeah. I mean, AqueroN already looks well set up for this push. It's only 3 roaches, so he should be able to defend it with the Marines if they get to the bunker. Yeah, and if it's repaired properly, there are no Ravagers here, so no chance of being sniped. And Erik is just running up.
Yeah, again, I really like what Erik did. After his Roach Warren got scouted, he only made 3 roaches and that is it. Then he started droning heavily. So he never really intended to push in too hard because he got scouted. I'm sure if he didn't get scouted, he probably would have committed a little bit further and maybe dedicated a little bit more to this attack. But, you know, he's respecting his opponent and he went into droning.
Yes, indeed. Getting his third base now. The Reaper is still here scouting around, so AqueroN will be prepared for what's coming next. Can it get sniped? The Queens finally sniped the Reaper.
Yeah, Reaper finally does go down. I mean, it paid for itself, you know, scouting that Roach Warren. But we'll see where we go from here because Erik is taking every single one of his gases. Very gas intensive here. He can go into a lair. It looks like he's making another wave of roaches, so he's going to be going into a very roach heavy composition.
Yeah, indeed. And I wonder what's the plan of AqueroN then. It looks like it's just gonna be Marine tank, so fairly standard. Taking his third base now in that natural position. And yeah, I mean, this position is much more open, I would say, than, you know, trying to sneak into the pocket base. So maybe the roaches can do something, but with the tanks, it's gonna be rough.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, hey, there is an advantage with working with a roach heavy composition. When you have Ravagers as well, you can bow down tanks, you can bow down Liberators, you can have an easier time dealing with that kind of composition. But it's a little bit less mobile and it can be harder to keep up with drops. And again, another advantage of Stargazers and a disadvantage for Zerg players is that drops do hit a little bit faster, they do hit a little bit harder as they are slipping into this main.
Yeah, fortunately the creep alerts Erik, so he will be moving his forces now. And this drop will be stopped for the time being, but it's gonna like remain as danger on the back of his head.
Yeah, exactly. As they picked off one Overlord, a second Overlord is going to go down, and a third Overlord across the map. Aye. This doesn't quite supply block Erik, as he did thankfully have a surplus of Overlords, and we have 4 more on the way. But again, this is all nice damage done from AqueroN.
Indeed it is. And it looks like Erik from here is going for Roach Lingbane.
Yeah, Roach Ravager Lingbane, very Ryu-esque. Ryu does this a lot as well, another duckling, for those wondering. But in this matchup, we start off with Roaches, which is a little bit safer. You can defend against earlier pushes easier, and then you get into Lingbane. It does mean that you get into your Lingbane a little bit slower, and it does delay your Baneling speed. But what you lack in Baneling speed early on, you make up for in Ravagers.
Yeah, indeed. And he's getting his army prepared, he's getting his upgrades. He's still droning a little bit as he's taking that 4th in the bottom right, but he's focusing on his army a lot more now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the army is not looking too bad at all here for Erik. The downside, of, other than, of course, his delayed upgrades or delayed Baneling speed, is that his drone count isn't ideal either. He's keeping up with AqueroN when ideally you want to be ahead as the Zerg player, so he needs a little bit more time here to drone up. But he's also working with very limited vision. Because of the Viking, he doesn't really have any presence on the map, so he doesn't know if or when a push is coming.
Yeah, he has to rely purely on creep. But Light, what do you think about the position of this fourth base?
Yeah,
Would you take this one or the one on the front?
I mean, it's a safer base to take. The one on the low ground here is very vulnerable from multiple angles of attack. So I understand there's pros and cons, right? Like, it's further away, so it's harder to defend, but it's also further away, so it's less, or it's harder to attack as well.
I guess so. I'm just a bit worried with this drop like looming about that. Like, it's a little hard to move the forces from one side of the map to the other in time, but it looks like Erik is managing it fine for now, and his creep spread is definitely alerting him now.
Yeah, you know, he's getting towards the halfway point on the map. You know, he's very on top of respreading his creep whenever he can. His 1-1 upgrades are finally finished up soon. He can get into 2-2. His drone count is getting a little bit higher as well, up to 73, which is not bad whatsoever. 7 more drones on the way, so he's going to be getting into that ideal 80. And it looks like he's of the same mind as you, Kuro. He recognizes it can be hard to bounce between the bases. Let's get some side defense.
Look how many creep tumors are in that base, by the way. It's just covered in creep tumors. Ooh, the drop is finally being dealt with. Most of the Marines are dying to the Banelings, which is really nice right before this attack from AqueroN.
Oh, exactly. And I know we've been focusing a lot on Erik, but now it's time to focus on AqueroN because he's on 3 bases. He's been stuck on 3 bases. He has 3 more Raxes on the way, 5 already done. So this is going to be a massive 8 Rax push. Typically, when you go for this, you don't really intend to take another base, but okay, we have a 4th on the way, so this isn't going to be all in by any means. But this push is actually going to get scattered by Erik.
Yeah, very nicely done with that spotter link. He notices the push. He's also dealing with the drop in the north part of the map. And he has to split his army perfectly to deal with both of these.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't have enough Ling Ravager here in the main base, so Banelings come in to reinforce it. Looks like Erik has enough, and oh my god! AqueroN wasn't paying attention. Half his Marines go down. At the same time, though, the tanks are slow pushing in towards the bottom right-hand corner of the map.
Yeah, beautiful connection there for Erik, but now he has to deal with these tanks as they are already setting up in position. And they are behind the bushes as well.
Oh my god,
but they unsiege.
They unsiege. They're left alone. 2 tanks are going to go down for free. AqueroN falling apart a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit mistimed. He was setting up a position, but then he changed his mind and moved back. And that was the perfect opportunity for Erik to snipe the forces. And now he's going around the army completely.
Yeah, exactly. And here at home to defend, we have 1 tank. The rest of the army is not where it needs to be. This tank is so vulnerable. Erik doesn't pull the trigger. I do think there was a moment here where he could have gone for it, but in the end, he's going to play it out a little bit safer. He forces at least AqueroN to turn around and go back home.
Right, look at the production tab. There are 4 dropper lords.
Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. We have some dropper lords on the way. I was talking about it, well, we were talking about it earlier, right? How this map does favor drop play, and that can be a hard thing for Zerg players to deal with, but now how the turns do table.
Yes, indeed. It's not just drop play for Terra, the Zergs can drop too, but the army of AqueroN is looking pretty scary regardless, and it's moving to the middle of the map, so I hope Erik has enough to defend both.
Oh my god.
That was so beautiful.
AqueroN wasn't looking. His medevac gets biled out of the sky. At the same time, the creep is going to slow down his push. We have a massive June drop into the main base. At the same time, Erik has a choice. Looks like he wants to either go for the 4th or try and surround that army. That is unsieged, by the way.
Yeah, I think he's trying to go around this army. He's trying to make sure that he knows where it is as he's getting the damage done in the base of AqueroN. And now the tanks are on siege and Erik is moving in.
Yeah, Erik, he dives as soon as the tanks on siege. Only one of them does remain siege. Here we go, the Lingbane rolling on forward. We need to see a hot pick up here, but so much has already gone down.
Yeah, we have 2 full medivacs, 3 medivacs of units saved, but this army of Zerg is still standing and is catching the reinforcements.
Oh, it is catching those reinforcements. A couple of marauders going down for free. Where is the buffer, by the way? This tank is naked.
Yeah, the tank is completely left alone. Now the bio army is unloading, but it takes a little bit for them to unload, and in the meantime, Erik is taking down the base.
Yeah, the base goes down. 22 SCVs go down as well. Now, this is going to trigger a counterattack, by the way. The tank count isn't looking too high, but the bio count is still looking a little bit terrifying. But Erik, he's making more Lingbane behind this, actually transitioning into Hydras.
Yeah, transitioning into Hydra. I mean, Adrenal glands are on the way as well, which will be definitely nice for all of these Zerglings. And, I mean, I'm just a little worried. Will this Zerg army pop in time before this Terran attack comes?
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I like Hydras right now. I don't think they're quite necessary, but we'll see. We'll see. As we do see the army engaging once again. Again, only 2 tanks with this, so not too much pushing power here for AqueroN. Erik is going to try and sneak out the goal base. So far has been unscattered, but there we go. AqueroN should be able to force the cancel.
Yeah, I feel like a little bit unfortunate timing on the Globus, but hold it for AqueroN is actually dropping the main base of Erik, and Erik once again has to split his forces to deal with both fronts.
Yeah, he really does. It looks like the drop is going to try and focus down that Hydrogen, but the Hydrogen will manage to survive. There are enough reinforcements at the same time. AqueroN is pushing on forward. One more tank goes down.
Yeah, the Banlings are rolling in, but the splits are decent, and they are now off the creep, so Erik has to be careful with how he engages this.
Yeah, he really does. Meanwhile, that drop is still alive. It's still active. It's still being such a nuisance here in the main base of Erik. Again, the Hydra, this Hydra Ravager Bane army is so awkward here. I'm not really too fond of it, but the Lings are finally getting on top of the tanks. It looks like they will be able to pick up a couple. Another one goes down.
Ooh, the tank barely did not go down, just saved on a few points of HP. And yeah, the drop has been defended. This front is being held for now, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be enough.
Yeah, this force here towards the southern side of the map is looking very vulnerable for AqueroN. The tanks, they're getting caught out once again. AqueroN, please take care of your tanks, puppy. Take care of your tanks.
Oh, no.
Ah!
We need to check after the game how many tanks have died this game.
Oh
As
my
another
God.
Doom drop is going to the main base together with the drop in the south. And Erik once again coming back to defend this. He's not gonna leave the bases alone.
Yeah, exactly. This time Erik does have an army here waiting in the main, but does he have it here at the triangular third base as the drop does land? It looks like it will find some damage.
Yeah, it looks like it will be taking down this base. Erik is a little bit worried about moving his army away from the south because the drop is still looming there as well. But in the end, he does scare the drop away.
He does, and here we go. Vipers are finally coming out, a surefire way to deal with these drops. Meanwhile, another Dropper Lord's being sent in towards that pocket base. Ling Bane rushing on forward. Because we saw Hydras coming out, I thought we were going to see a transition into Lurkers, but no, that doesn't seem to be the case. It looks like Erik just wanted a little bit of anti-air to help deal with his drops and opted not to go for a Spire. And now this base with the lack of Spines, it's going to go down.
Yeah, this bio army is very low, but it's enough to take down this base. Now the Zerg is coming in, but it's already too late for this hatchery, and Erik once again has to rebuild.
Yeah, honestly, Erik, it's now his turn to crumble to the drop play. The main pushes for AqueroN haven't been finding any damage at all. I do favor Erik in these front-on engagements, but when it comes to the drops, I mean, we just saw two hatcheries fall in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, this is another reason why this position is very scary, where his bases are like, stretched out on the whole map, because it takes a while before the forces are reaching the other end, and even splitting them is difficult because how can you tell how much you should be able to split before you see what's unloading from the medivacs?
Yeah, exactly. Like Erik, I'm sure he just wants one big fight. That's all he wants in life, but that's not what he's going to be getting here. Another drop here into the main base is going to clean up this small army. Erik doesn't have enough here to defend, by the way. The Vipers are left alone. They're a little bit vulnerable, so this drop can get out of control. We have a couple of Lings coming forward. Erik doesn't want to leave the southern part of the map.
Yeah, the force on the south is once again moving in, so he is very careful about splitting the forces. He's defending the main once again, even sniping the medivac, which is very nice.
Yeah, very nice snipe there. Erik is going to be able to hold on to his main base, but again, earlier he had a lot of momentum. That momentum is now gone. Because of all this drop play, Erik was forced to stay at home. He was forced to respond, forced to tech on up, and I don't know if his tech is the right choice. I love the Vipers, don't get me wrong, that's beautiful, but he actually went into an Ultra Cavern, kind of splitting on the way. Again, Ultras aren't the most mobile army, and I don't know if that's really what we want right now.
I'm not sure either. There's another army of AqueroN is now going for a frontal attack, and the ghosts are here as well to snipe, so the ultras are going to be a bit less effective unless Erik can get a nice engagement.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see if he can get it. We need more. There we go. Banelings are on the way. More Lings are on the way as well. This is a very choky position, so pushing into this bridge is going to be so difficult to pull off. AqueroN with a very nice position is going to be able to take down this base.
Yeah, really nicely done going around the bridge. Erik is forced to destroy this rock to surround the army. Actually sniping the tank, which is great, but this position is still secure for now.
Yeah, exactly. Without those rocks, though, Erik is looking for a mass around as soon as the army on sieges. Meanwhile, the Vipers. Oh, no! One of them will get sniped. Already going down. He only has one Viper remaining, and Erik, he wants a fight. He's looking for it. He's waiting for the LT. He goes anyway.
Yeah, he's rolling in anyway. The bio was moved back, so the tanks are left alone, but is there enough Zerg army to deal with all of this Terran?
Oh, it looks like there barely is enough. The tanks go down, the ghosts go down. A couple of ghosts were saved in the end, and AqueroN, he's forced to pick up and pull back all the way back home, and now Erik can rebuild. He's rebuilding, he's remaxing on Lings.
And there's so many ghosts in this space, by the way. A lot of them will actually fall to the Zerglings, it looks like, but a lot of them are still alive, and the snipes are ready.
Yeah, not a very good, a bit of an overextension for Erik, to be honest. Like, he lost a lot. He didn't really get too much at all in that bit of an engagement. He's trying to rebuild here with Ling Bane, which I think is probably a wise choice, but I would appreciate it if he did rebuild his Vipers. He only has one remaining right now.
Yeah, the Vipers could definitely be useful. This is the third time Erik is trying to take this gold base, and it's always denied. Like, he's been really trying, but AqueroN is constantly keeping an eye on it.
This is a scary moment. Erik is running out of steam. He's running out of money right now. He needs another base soon. He needs this gold specifically. He just can't get it. Meanwhile, he's also unable to mine from this other triangular third base as well. Like, he is being starved out. Meanwhile, AqueroN has been left alone. His southern bases are looking quite vulnerable, but a lot of the pressure, a lot of the fighting has been focused here towards the middle of the map. So AqueroN has been safe to expand.
Yeah, and those are planetaries as well, so they're not that easy to snipe either. As this army is once again moving towards the gold, and is there enough of an army for Erik to defend?
We're going to be seeing another cancel here. Hopefully not a kill, as there we go. We see a cancel on that base. We have a pre-siege as well. AqueroN, he will be able to solidify his position here. Erik has to back off.
Yeah, he's trying to make spines here. Oh, this drone transfer is a bit forgotten, but they're gonna survive, it looks like.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I also appreciate Erik. He's diversifying his spellcasters. He's getting a couple of infestors as well, where you can catch the ghost. You can land some insane fungals if you are able to be in position. But outside of this, yeah, Ling Bane, Ravager, Hydra, Viper, Infestor. it's a little bit haphazard, but it can work. It can work.
No, I can definitely remember Erik having some great games using Infestors, so I'm waiting for these Vanguards. We got one on the Medivacs, which is very nice. The Hydras will be able to deal with some of them, and the Ling Bane is rolling in.
Oh, it is rolling in. Meanwhile, we have a couple of snipes. 2 Infestors are going to go down. There was a decent engagement there for Erik. He was able to get a couple of those ghosts in the end, but only a couple. He's going to have to rebuild his Infestors, remax, and try again.
Right, he's taking the gold base.
He's trying to take that gold base. I wish Erik had the freedom to try and punish these southern bases. Like, it's such a shame that they've gone uncontested, and now we have more CCs, potentially more planetaries on the way. AqueroN pushing on forward once again. AqueroN, he's been doing a great job at just keeping the creep on Erik's side of the map.
Yeah, it's not going past the halfway point of the map. And once again, he's setting up this siege position here with the tanks, this time on the high ground, so it's really difficult for Erik to find a way to attack.
Yeah, very nice tank spread here on the high ground. Oh my god, the ghosts are moving on forward as well. It looks like one fungal is going to land, but is there enough to follow up?
Yeah, half of the ghosts are being taken down, which is very nice, but there is still a lot of them left, and Erik has to prepare this engagement.
Yeah, he needs more energy. He needs more fungals right now. He has a couple of investors here towards the south. It looks like the fungals are going to connect.
Yeah, all of the ghosts are being taken down. It's just the bio. I think there's still one ghost left in this army, but it's mostly just bio tank.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, that was a great engagement there by Erik, but he can't push on forward. He still cannot break that siege line. Oh.
Yeah, and his army is not looking very strong right now. He actually has to move back and give up this base once again, but he's going from behind and taking down the tanks.
Yeah, he knows that he cannot afford to give up the space. Here we go. A couple of yoinks are going down. A couple of tanks are going to be falling as well. Is there enough Zerg on the ground? It looks like barely there is.
Yeah, just barely. Still one tank remains, and it's gonna dish a lot of damage on this. And now with the reinforcements, Erik once again has to move back.
Yeah, exactly. He's losing his Vipers in the process. He lost his Infestors as well. This base barely survived, but with the reinforcements, it looks like the base may end up falling. We need more Lings more than anything, but Erik actually rebuilt Hydras.
Those are not Lurkers. Those are Hydras.
We don't have a Lurker then. I was checking like 10 minutes ago. There was no...
This is just straight Hydras.
10 minutes ago, there were no Lurkers. 10 minutes from now, there aren't going to be any Lurkers either. It's really interesting. I mean, there we go. Lings are finally on the way here. Lings are honestly like the critical, the crux of this army to be able to close the gap and get on top of these tanks, get on top of these ghosts. But we need them now more than ever. And now AqueroN is going back to drop play.
Nice support there. He's gonna deal with one of these medivacs, making this drop a little bit smaller. But there is once again an army at that gold base.
Yeah, there's an army at the gold base. There's an army at both fresh bases of Erik, and it looks like he may lose both hatcheries.
Yeah, I mean, the spine crawlers are buying a lot of time for this army to move in here, but this is a very strong position for AqueroN with all of this tank being spread out as well.
Yeah, the tank spread is insane. Oh, the tank volleys are going to go off on the army as well, on the drones that Erik cannot push in. A couple of yoinks are going to come out, and that will help deal with this tank count. But Erik needs his reinforcements. He needs everything to come down towards the south.
Yeah, it actually took a long time to take down these tanks after they were being young, because there was not enough army to fight them. Now, getting some nice fangirls on the bio, but once again, there's not a lot of fighting units here.
Yeah, unfortunately, Erik, he was waiting for the drop to come back, and it never did. So much supply was wasted here towards the northern half of the map. Thankfully, Erik does hold on barely, but the tanks... they're coming on forward. They're slowly encroaching upon this base. Erik, he gets here just in time, though.
Yeah, the reinforcements are getting here and should be able to jump on these tanks, but he's being very careful about his position. He's trying to go around, actually.
Yeah, he's trying to go for a full surround here. The hatchery will survive. There's not enough to protect these tanks. Everything here for AqueroN is going to go down.
Yeah, AqueroN packs up and moves back. He is losing a few tanks once again, but he's safe in his bases. Ooh, even mining the minerals there.
Yeah, I mean, that's how desperate the situation is. Like, that's the problem with Stargazers. We get into split map scenarios very quickly. There are no more bases to take for AqueroN. He needs whatever minerals he can get. He needs the gold base if he can take it. If he can take it from Erik.
Yeah, once again, a huge squad of ghosts is moving in. He's just sniping units left and right. And once again, Erik has to move back. This hatchery will fall, and does he have enough units to even defend this?
No, once again, Erik, he was waiting for another drop here towards the north. It looks like he was able to catch those SCVs. He has a bit of Ling Hydra here as well, but alas, the supply wasn't where it needed to be.
Yeah, he's trying to remake that gold base, but I just don't know how long it's gonna last, as AqueroN is moving around this army, just switching between both fronts.
Yeah, unfortunately, like AqueroN is just trading a little bit more efficiently. He has been trading more efficiently over the course of this game, especially in the later portions of this game. Even the Liberator here harassing the mineral line of Erik. Erik needs a big win, and soon. Like, I believe that he can take a fight, but because of the lack of creed spread, like, he can never really be in position. He never has eyes on the army.
Yeah, it's really difficult for him to spot where they're... Oh, really nice panga on this drop though, so he should be able to deal with all of it.
Yeah, he cleans up the drop in the end, but one infestor went down, and he has to be very careful with how he maneuvers around this area because of all those tanks. Another hatchery is going to fall as well. Erik finally recognizes where the army is, but again, it's a little bit too late after he loses all of his workers.
He is collapsing all of these ghosts though, but they are just being packed into the medivacs and going straight into the main base.
Yeah, exactly. He's thinking about going into the main. Maybe not, maybe yes. He can kind of dance wherever he wants to. There isn't too much anti-Erik here. Erik is trying to keep up, and there we go. He commits to the drop. Ooh.
Yeah, now the Zerglings are coming in, and actually there is no lift up here, so a lot of the ghosts will be dying.
Oh, exactly. Beautiful EMP on those infestors, though. We do see them dropping as well. It snipes on both of the Vipers as well. The spellcasters are falling left and right for Erik. He can't afford to lose them.
Not. Yeah, this is starting to look really rough for Erik. AqueroN is starting to set up this position here, and he's just moving forward. The creep is not even coming back here. The base is not either, and Erik, yeah, it's getting difficult.
It's been difficult for a while for Erik, and he's been up against the wall. He's running out of money here. He desperately needs to get these bases up and running. The one thing is that he does have the gold, so that is honestly doing so much. That is keeping Erik in this game right now. Like, the fact that he has at least one base mining. He's going to try and make sure he has another one there, but again, the EMPs connect on the infestors.
Oh, nice. The links are coming from the back, and they should be able to take down one of the tanks, but actually there's not enough damage there, and the infestors are being taken down.
Yeah, exactly. Again, this tank positioning on the high ground was just too damn good. Erik loses his entire army, and just like that, AqueroN, he got the fight that he was waiting for. He's been starving out Erik for so long, and these reinforcements aren't going to be enough. We don't have enough minerals. AqueroN, he can keep pushing, and Erik doesn't have enough to stop him.
Yeah, he's trying to remake the Hydras right now. Hydra Infestor, but I'm not sure the Hydras can contest this Terran army with so much bio, so many ghosts that are just sniping Hydras left and right, and I think this is it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, Erik looked so good early on in the game. There was a period where he was up 20, 30, 40 supply, but the drop play kept him home. They kept AqueroN alive. Erik wasn't able to harass the bases at all, and AqueroN has finally found, again, that moment that he was looking for. Erik is trying to keep everything that he can alive. He's going to be pulling everything towards the southern side of the map instead, just completely evacuating his main. But alas, AqueroN is maxed.
I mean, evacuating his main, but like all of the tech is in his main as well. He's having to remake all of. He's actually making all of these tech structures in the different parts of the maps to make sure he saves them. But even then, like, there's more army of AqueroN coming.
Yeah, that there is, and there we go. The natural's going to go down, the third as well, soon to be the fourth. I mean, Erik has transferred everything to the final mining base anyway, like the base that matters. But AqueroN is about to rock up, and Erik, looking at the units tab, he has 14 Hydras to defend. Oh boy.
And where are they? They're in the middle of the map. They take a while to get here. There are still a few investors, which will definitely help. But yeah, I guess this base will be safe for now, but you know, the main army will come here eventually.
Yeah, exactly. AqueroN, he's slowly, meticulously working through all of these hatcheries, working through all of these bases. And Erik, he's just trying to gather energy. He's trying to look for one big fight. And to be fair, he probably can take one fight. Looking at his Vipers and Infestors, like, if he doesn't get EMP'd, he can probably take one engagement.
Yeah, this is a nice setup for Erik, getting these blinding clouds down, and sniping a few of the tanks. He may actually be able to chase this army back, but there's still so much left.
Another EMP connects on those Infestors as well. We get one Fungal, but now there are only Hydras to fight, and Hydras are not the best units to go toe-to-toe here with a Bio army. GG gets called, and AqueroN takes it. We are going to the ace match.
Yeah, nicely done from AqueroN, tying it up for Platinum Heroes, and we will be going into that ace match indeed.
Oh boy, and now we have to make a choice. We have to make a hard choice here. Both teams have to come up with an ace player. Oh boy. Here we go. So again, congratulations to AqueroN. Honestly, he fought back from a pretty difficult position. Like, Erik was looking so good early on with the way that he was handling the drops with his push, where he was able to kill the triangular third base, technically the fourth base of AqueroN. Like, he had a lot of momentum, and then we saw him struggle a little bit with those drops and really struggle to get his bases up and running.
Yeah. It's such a shame because the start was so good for Erik, but this is exactly what I was thinking about it. Like, you know, because like the bases are so stretched out, it's just so terrifying when you see these drops coming, because it's, how do you split your army?
Oh, yes, how do we split our army? Oh god, it's really hard to judge, in the end. And I want to give a shout out to Erik, because again, he didn't look bad in that game. Like, he was going toe to toe. He was again at points ahead of AqueroN, but alas, as the game went on, it did feel like Erik had trouble like really finding his footing, really finding his composition of choice.
Yeah, indeed. I'm still not sure about sticking to Hydras and, like, you know, not transitioning past them. We get the ultra, then we didn't see a single ultra either. So, yeah, unfortunate for Erik, but we will be going into that ace match, and the players will be revealed soon enough, who will be playing on Tropical Sacrifice.
Oh yeah, and it looks like the players are revealed here as I quickly switch the scenes over. The players on Tropical Sacrifice from the side of the Ducklings are going to be PattyMac going up against AqueroN.
Oh, so AqueroN being sent out once again. And we're gonna have a PvT this time.
Oof.
Not on Stargazers.
It is going to be a PvT. An interesting choice here from Platinum Heroes to go for AqueroN, but he has been looking terrifying in the TVP matchup in the past. Oh boy, this is going to be an interesting one, especially because PattyMac, Yeah, well, we shall see. We shall see.
Yeah, we shall see indeed. But look, I believe in PattyMac. I feel like PattyMac, if you remember, he was the one who played the ace match when we were qualifying for WTL. So I feel like PattyMac is more motivated in these really close situations. He's definitely like a very hype player.
Oh yeah, I believe, mate. I believe. And speaking of believing, we are heading over to the land of Europe as the ace match will be played on EU. So AqueroN will have a little bit of an advantage there. But I believe in our boy PattyMac. I believe that he can pull this off in the end. As you were saying, he has been known to come out clutch in the ace match before.
By the way, I like how the chat is all ready to be the ace for CranKy Ducklings. Like, we got several offers from the chat to be put in the ace.
Oh my god. For sure. Let me be the ace. I can beat whoever they bring out. Oh my god.
Yeah, an offer from Vidras as well.
You love to see it. You love to see it. Oh my god. All right. It comes down to the final best of one. Let's quickly set this lobby up. Let's get this show on the road. Oh. And oh. Yeah, could you make the lobby as I have to restart my clients?
Oh, okay. I don't have the player though, so
That's fine.
Okay.
So yeah, hopefully the crash is temporary and I can get back into this game. But yes, we are going to be getting into Tropical Sacrifice. So I'm excited and concerned. I'm concerned because I feel like I could be mistaken here, but I feel like PattyMac's worst matchup is PvT. I think this is the matchup that he struggles in the most. It doesn't mean that he's bad at the matchup, but again, you know, I'm sure he would have preferred a Protoss or a Zerg player. So yeah, I'm a little bit worried about that. So he's gonna need our energy. He's going to need our power. Also, this is not good. For some reason, my game is stuck in windowed mode.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, it just suddenly put me there. So hopefully I can fix this, and hopefully we can get the show on the road.
Well, I got PattyMac in the lobby, but I don't have AqueroN.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm on my way to Europe. Oh,
Okay.
So yeah, we can get this going. Art's looking pretty good lately. So I'm pretty sure. That we were kind of talking up Art a lot today, and I think maybe that could be the reason why Platinum Heroes chose not to field him, because they could predict that we were anticipating Art, and they're going for a counter pick there, and they'd be correct. I would have anticipated Art as well to come out for the ace player. So I really appreciate that they went for a little bit of a curveball and they went for AqueroN instead.
I mean, to be fair, AqueroN is also a really strong player, and
True.
we saw in the previous game that he was able to slowly just take this game back for him. And I am not that surprised about AqueroN being the pick, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not too. I mean, again, if it was gonna be one, it was gonna be one or the other. So
Yeah,
in the end, it was not Art. It was AqueroN. Could you give me a lobby link, by the way? I would appreciate
when
that.
I remember how to spell.
I may have to restart though, depending on whether or not I have a. Oh, thank God. We do not have a lobby bug. Thank God. Thank God.
Yeah, we still need AqueroN.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We're just going to be sending out a couple of invite links and getting everyone involved. Oh boy, and it all comes down to this. It all comes down to the ace match. True.
Why is he not in CranKy?
Because we're on
right.
Europe.
Are you gonna invite you? Okay.
Beautiful. Yeah, there were actually a couple of players that weren't on CranKy on the Korean server, and I had to invite them for WTL as well.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see some predictions in the chat. Where is this gonna go? It's come down to the wire. I see some people asking for some Phoenix Colossus play. I don't know if we're gonna see that. It's hard to say, PattyMac has his own style of play. Oh god, so we shall see. I mean, it's a little bit nerve-wracking. Are either of these players willing to cheese in the ace match? That's kind of the big question.
Yes, indeed. And we will find out soon as we are now loading into Tropical Sacrifice.
We are loading on into our final game of the night. It all comes down to this. Unlike WTL, this is a best of 5, not a best of 7. It only goes at most to the 5th game.
Where we are right now, loaded into Tropical Sacrifice, looking at the Duckling Hope in the color of the pond, the blue Protoss player from the United States. It is PattyMac. Or PattyDuck.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tropical Sacrifice, we have the Spanish Terran player himself representing Platinum Heroes. It is AqueroN.
Okay. So what is it gonna be? What are we gonna see in this game? No proxies, so everything is going calmly for the time being.
Yes, so far everything is looking pretty standard here between our two players. Again, I'm sure PattyMac was hoping for a PvP. Instead, we got a Terran player. I do think that it was maybe a little bit more obvious that we would send PattyMac out. You know, he is kind of our he's the right hand of Voltron for a reason, in a way.
Between right hand? I don't think it was the hand, but I will not bring up that meme.
Okay. He goes by many names, goes by many parts of Voltron. Yeah, we'll see kind of what he decides to go for here. So far, pretty standard openers. AqueroN goes for a single gas. He goes for Rax, gas, expand. Likewise, PattyMac going for his own base as well. So AqueroN going for a more macro-oriented opener.
Yeah, like that PattyMac was trying to delay this CC for a little bit. Not too much though, because there are 2 SCVs chasing this probe, so AqueroN will be able to take this command center down. And meanwhile, we have a proxy pylon.
Let's go. So a couple of things are happening here. PattyMac is going to check, and he does confirm that a bunker is on the way, already going to be working on this SCV, but the Reaper is on the way across the map, trying to get here in time. Can he do it? So far, the RNG is good enough here for AqueroN. He is able to keep that SCV a little bit safe for a little bit longer.
Yeah, it will be taken down, and I think the bunker will not be able to finish. So very nicely done for PattyMac, but these probes may fall down.
Oh, there we go. Forced to cancel. One probe is going to fall for this, but losing a probe for taking down that bunker is well worth it here for PattyMac. Bunkers can be so annoying. The delay so much mining time. They do disrupt the economy of Protoss.
Yeah, and at the same time, PattyMac is setting up his Stargate on the other side of the map. AqueroN is scouting. He does not see the tech, so he knows probably that something is being proxied, but that's all the information he's gonna get.
Yeah, he does confirm that there's only one pylon in the main base, so he knows 100% that there is a pylon hidden on the map somewhere, and he should be preparing back at home. But because of his opener, we don't have a Cyclone, we don't have a Widowmine or anything like that. We only have vanilla Marines to defend.
I mean, to be fair, Marines can be pretty good in enough numbers, but Oracles do deal with them pretty well.
Yeah, exactly. The Tech Lab is now on the way. We do have 2 Marines, soon to be 4 Marines as well. What's important is that we're going to see an Oracle in conjunction with these Adepts. The Adepts are going to be able to deny mining time here and ideally force Marines down towards the natural.
Yeah, good news for AqueroN is that he did see that Stargate with his Reaper just recently, so he knows that it is the Oracle coming in. So he knows what he's preparing for, but is he able to split his attention?
Yeah, because you know what? PattyMac actually, because he got scouted, doesn't go straight into the main base. He skirts around the edge instead. He's going to try and focus on some of these SCVs. It looks like he won't get any. Ooh.
The Oracle just barely survives. 22 health still on it, but it's very much in the red. But the Adepts are just chilling in the natural.
And this is fine for PattyMac because he's forcing 0 mining here at the natural base. Finally, the Marines are going to come down. Finally, they're going to be able to shoo away these deaths, but not before one more SCV goes down. AqueroN finally has control of his natural.
Yeah, so PattyMac did not do like direct damage to AqueroN by killing a lot of units, but at the very least he did delay this mining for a long time, which in the end will be very beneficial for him.
Oh, it will be beneficial. Oh boy, as PattyMac actually opts to go for a second Oracle. This is a risky move because the first one is already so low. Oh, he's going to dip in and we already have Cyclones waiting for him. But we do get a lock-on as well. Greedy move here for PattyMac. He's going to be punished for it. He activates his beam, trying to focus down the Cyclone, and he loses both Oracles.
Yeah, extremely unfortunate for PattyMac, but it was pretty ballsy to go against 2 Cyclones at the same time and flying on top of them as well, so they could get all the lock-ons they wanted. And now this proxy will be dealt with.
Yeah, it is going to be shut down. We have a third Oracle on the way, but that's never going to come out here. The Cyclones are already rocking up. PattyMac forced to take his third. And as a result, the Adepts were really what dealt damage early on. Not so much this proxy. It wasn't able to pay for itself. It was a costly investment here for PattyMac.
Yeah, and this pylon actually supply blocks PattyMac, so there will be no more warpings for the time being. The Marines are rocking up, but the Stalkers are here to defend, so this attack at least will be deflected.
Oh, a very nice trade here for PattyMac. Has to be careful not to overextend. He does actually go in towards that side blocker, and he's going to lose a Stalker as a result.
Yeah, definitely a nice position for AqueroN there, hiding in the bushes, and he was able to snipe 2 Stalkers, and now the Cyclones rock up.
Yeah, the Cyclones rock up, and Blink is still not done. Again, because of the tech, because of the Stargate, Blink is delayed, so the Stalkers will push this back, but it was a bit of a trade here. We lost 2 Stalkers for a decent amount of Marines. Was it 10 Marines in total? Going to be able to shave off even more here before Stim finishes.
Yeah, chasing the Marines all the way down, actually taking down all of them. Now this is just these Cyclones, and I think the Stalkers can take them.
Yeah, very nice moves here from PattyMac. AqueroN, he thought he was safe, but he was anything but, as he loses all of his Marines and all of the Cyclones. Oh, sorry, one of the Cyclones. So even though PattyMac lost his 2 Oracles, he's definitely been able to make up for that.
Yeah, some nice damage there from PattyMac, but now what does he do from here? There is that tank on the front, so I don't think he can just march the Stalkers right in, but with Blink, he may just try to.
Yeah, it depends how much there is to defend, because if there was Stim, I would say no, but because Stim is still on the horizon, it's still 10 seconds away, there's potential, but yeah, it's going to be a little bit too risky here. Blinking on forward is going to be a little bit much. At the same time, Liberator is going to sneak into the main base, and do we have anything at home to defend?
No, not even a shield battery, so this probably just gonna be taken down easily. Fortunately, PattyMac does spot it, and we see a really nice pull, so no damages for the time being, but the Liberator will be looming there.
Yeah, a little bit less mining time. 1 probe goes down. This will force a warp in back at home. There we go. 2 Stalkers are warped in. Blink is now done as well, and I'm waiting for a little bit of high ground vision. An Observer is still on the way. Once the Observer shows up, then these Stalkers have the option to not just go into the main, but also into the natural.
Yeah, but these tanks on the edge of the map look really dangerous. Like, this is not a lot of Stalkers, and, you know, they could snipe 1 tank, but with 2, 3, this is starting to get a bit too strong.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. The Observer rocks up, confirming the tank count. Ooh, actually spots the drop as it moves out, but AqueroN also spotted the Shimmer. He takes down the Observer.
Yeah, PattyMac actually tries to go towards the tanks, but just takes a lot of damage on the Stalkers, but is trying to get this drop. That is some nice micro on both sides. Both players just trying to juke each other.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, this is a great scout here. The hallucination confirms we have a massive unsiege. AqueroN is pushing out across the map. We did not see a third TC. AqueroN is going for a 2-base all-in. He even pulls the boys.
Ooh. Yeah, all of the boys are coming off the line, and what do we have on the side of PattyMac? He's getting the storm. His storm is almost done. Do we have any High Templars currently?
We have 2 High Templar waiting for this, but only 2 High Templar. PattyMac, I don't believe he saw the SCVs being pulled. I don't know if he knows how much danger he is in right now. The storms are going to be so important as PattyMac finally has eyes on the army.
There's a lot of energy on these High Templars, but there may be just enough for a few storms, and this army is very bunched up.
Oh, the target firing is a little bit too good there. AqueroN, he does get one of the High Templar, only 1 High Templar remaining, and it's, oh god, it's going to go down.
Yeah, the High Templar goes down. Now it's just this gateway army against all of these bio units and the SCVs, and GG is being called.
GG gets called. The lifeline there for PattyMac was that storm. He needed it desperately, but the target firing was a little bit too good. He lost his High Templar before he was able to use it.
GG. And with that ace match, the Platinum Heroes will be taking down the Ducklings 3-2.
Oh, GG, well played. Congratulations to Platinum Heroes and to AqueroN. It went down to the wire, and best of ones can be really brutal. Unfortunately, we weren't able to pull it off in the end, but I'm proud of our boys. I'm proud of our Ducklings. I'm really proud that Dolan was able to take down Arch. PattyMac was able to take his game as well, and even Erik looked really good against AqueroN.
Yeah, indeed. They really did. I feel like I'm mostly proud of Dolan for taking down Art, because I feel like throughout the World Team League, like Dolan felt like, like he's just tagging along with the rest of the team. Like he was even making memes about that, and I really like that he's being able to like show off his own strength here as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like really proving his worth here as a part of the team. Like I'm really proud of AqueroN as well, for all of our boys. I know StarDuck had a bit of the short end of the stick, and to be fair, we also weren't aware of the server rulings, the new server rulings that BTL have. Because of that, I don't know if we're going to be able to field our Australian players in the following weeks. I would love to, but I don't know if we can, especially if they're forced to play on Central. So that's something that we have to bear in mind in the coming weeks.
The server rules are there because for this season of BTL there is no split divisions between NA and EU. For Valhalla and Thor, there's only a single merged division.
Yes.
So the two highest leagues.
Yeah, only have one single division. So there's those new server rulings. But regardless, again, GG, very well played to Platinum Heroes in the end. At least it went to the ace match. At least it went the distance in the end. So we can at least say that. But
yeah, and the games were really good too.
Yeah, they were really good. And I look forward to playing against Platinum Heroes again. I believe. Oh no, never mind. I was gonna say in WTL, but yeah. I look forward to a rematch, maybe even the playoffs as well. Of course, people were talking about it. Vindicta wasn't quite here to kind of lead the charge this week, unfortunately. But in future weeks, he will be here.
Yeah, I mean, he does need his break as well.
True.
He needs to regenerate. The DreamHack Masters is coming up, and Vindicta will be playing there, so he needs all the time he can get to prepare for that.
Yeah, I always feel a little bit guilty because I know DreamHack is obviously the most important tournament, and both Erik, Vindicta, and PattyMac, they all have to focus on the main event in the coming weeks. So I don't want to detract too much from that. Of course, DreamHack is the most important tournament for them, probably followed by WTL, like both two very big tournaments. So yeah, we have to try and balance our roster around that. We'll do our best.
Yeah, definitely. So we will be, we'll be switching up the roster a bit during the DreamHack stages, but look forward to the next game, because this tournament, this team league, it does have matches every week, regularly on the weekends. So we will be seeing you with the next match in a week. And who is our next opponent? Let me double check.
Yeah.
Our next opponent is Hokago T-Team.
There we go. Hokage T team, I believe a Russian team.
Oh no, sorry. That's week 3. Week 2 is Micromaniacs. There you go.
The Micromaniacs, another European team. I'm sure StarDuck and Oreo are very happy about that. Ay. Oh god. So yeah. Next week we will be back here at same time, same place, similar time, same place. With our next BTL match. Also next week, World Team League starts up. We're going to be going up against Invictus Gaming in a best of 7. Oof.
Yeah, someone we have met in the bracket. Did we play them twice as well? Or was it one time? I think we played them once. Yeah.
Invictus Gaming, if you recall, they were able to take us down mainly with Coffee. Coffee was able to bring us all down in the end. Basically, I think he reverse swept us or killed us. Sorry. So, oh boy, I know our boys want our revenge. I want our revenge as well against Coffee, and we'll see if we can pull it off. I do think that Invictus Gaming is one of those WTL teams that is definitely beatable for us. Like, it's definitely within our grasp.
Yeah, definitely. But with that will be all for today. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss the next match that is coming up, make sure to follow this channel and follow us on social media. We are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and most importantly, Discord. The Discord is the center of all of our information.
Oof. Yes. Check us out on Discord. All of us are there. All of the ducklings are there as well, so you can interact with us in between series, in between broadcasts as well. So you can chat with us there. And yeah. Thanks everyone for watching. Again, bit of a rough start for the BTL for us, but again, I'm happy that at least we made it to the ace match against Platinum Heroes. I'm pretty sure Platinum Heroes are one of the stronger teams in BTL. I think I would say probably Platinum Heroes and Berserker Esports are probably the two top teams. So they're the ones that we're mainly concerned with. Everyone else, though, I do think that we can have a pretty strong run and at least make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we did make it to the playoffs last time, and that's how we got to Rakshi at the end of the season. So
yeah,
we're looking forward to getting there again.
Yeah, I mean, hey, last season we got to Rakshi even without. This was pre-Vindicta. This was
yeah.
Oh god, this was mainly with our Latin American and Oceanic rosters. So yeah, it's going to be exciting to kind of delve back into it again with a bit of a newer team, and newer ducklings. And yeah, I hope everyone's not too sad about the matches. I'm talking about our players. I mean, like less than 3. Like again, PattyMac, Dolan, Erik, StarDuck. We're proud of you.
I still want Vindicta to watch the Dolan replay. I need to see his reaction.
Oh god, yeah. I want to see it as well.
Just post it in the team chat. Don't tell him the score. Just post the replay and tell him to watch it on stream. That's it.
Yeah. We'll make it happen. With that, thank you everyone for watching. Kuro, why don't you let the people know where can they find more of you?
If you want to find more of me, make sure to follow this channel because I will be working on this channel more. But if you want to see me just myself, make sure to check out the Twitch TV 16 Squad Sanseki or Twitter.com 16 Squad S. I try to stream more regularly nowadays, but usually it's not StarCraft unless I'm in mood to do my 5 placement games. But if you do want to see more StarCraft being played, the Light, where can we find that?
Light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. I didn't stream today. We were casting earlier today, and I knew that we were going to be casting later, but I'll try and stream consistently throughout the week. I'll do my best. It's going to be hard because we still have DreamHack casts to go as well, and we have all of our other tournaments as well. So I'll try and be consistent with it. I'll try. So if you're interested in my solo content, I'll be there over on my own Twitch channel. But if you're only 1 hour casting, then check us out here on the CranKy Ducklings. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the links, all the socials. We're all over the place. We post whenever we go live. And our next broadcast, I believe, is going to be DreamHack. DreamHack Oceania on Wednesday over on ESL_SC2B. Not on this channel, but on the ESL channel.
Yeah, we are the B stream for the Oceania and Taiwan, Hong Kong side of things, as well as China later in the next week. So make sure to check out ESL_SC2B if you want more duckling casting.
Oh yeah, we got you covered there. I'm going to be casting alongside Yaku and alongside Asher as well. So be sure to tune into that. The first time that Asher is going to be casting on the ESL channel. It's going to be exciting. And yeah, we will have you covered there. We have a couple of other broadcasts going on this channel throughout the week. So just follow us. Check
Discord. Discord has a calendar where you can see all the events going live.
There you go. With that, thank you so much everyone for watching. Thank you so much for the support. Kuro, do you have anything you want to say before we head off?
Look forward to Vindicta watching the replay.
Look forward to it. Thank you so much everyone for watching. We'll see you guys when we see you. Bye. Ciao.
Bye.